It's Nolan. Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show. I've been raking up off these niggas for a minute now. Hey, y'all gonna learn to listen one way or another though. Hey, let's get it. Let me show you how I keep the money coming. Strapped up like he check, nigga, run it. In the mirror, yeah, I love what I'm becoming. Ain't no discussion, boy, don't make me spit your onion. Ayy, let me show you how I keep the money coming. Strapped up like he check, nigga, run it. In the mirror, yeah, I love what I'm becoming. Ain't no discussion, boy, don't make me spit your onion. Ayy, flashback to the days I was in the days. I was sleeping on the couch, couldn't nobody stay. I was serving up the chicken, couldn't get a raise. Now I'm cooking up the game like I'm Bobby Flay. Fuck rap, I ain't got no friends in this shit. Put them M's to the front like a Benz in this shit. I be swimming through the money, got some fins in this shit. I be stomping through the street like some Timbs in this bitch. Made trends in this shit for some IOUs, but I don't lose. Construction how I tighten them screws. Tie up my shoes, back on the block, straight to the bag, ho. Jumping off the porch for that green like a tadpole. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody's doing well out there this evening. Hey man, we got a doozy of an episode for y'all today. We're getting back into Labrie and the docket concerning his suing his lawsuit against UMG. Now y'all remember from the jump when this whole ordeal came into existence, I told y'all there's so many real artists in the industry that have real valid issues with companies like UMG, whose money has been taken, who's trying to fight to get their music back in their possession. Other artists who have been stuck in predatory deals with the likes of UMG, who they didn't want to put their music out, but for whatever reason, they wouldn't let them go be free agents, just keeping them on the shelf for years. I feel like those are the people in the music industry that have valid arguments or valid reasons to go up against a corporate giant like a UMG, right? I've maintained that stance since this thing first entered our collective consciousness. Well, today we've got someone who's actually going through it, saying the same shit. Now, if y'all are not familiar, Salt-N-Pepa are actually in an active lawsuit going against UMG. And the reason they're suing UMG is because they're trying to get the masters back to the music that they put out from the late 80s going into the 90s, right? They signed a record deal in the 80s. I think it was with what's Love Bug or some shit. Let me see. Who were they signed with? Yeah, Love Bug, who was producing, I guess, for them early on. I believe Salt was dating him. Herbie Love Bug Azor. He's the one who signed over the rights to Salt-N-Pepa's catalog early on in the 80s. And I think the labels that they were signed to that did the deal with UMG are no longer like around. It's a lot that went into this, right? And they're trying to go back and retain ownership of this music that they released from, 1985 up into the latter music that they released throughout their career. They're trying to get all this stuff back. UMG is saying no. Now, typically, most artists in the industry, there is a reversion period where you're supposed to be able to get that stuff back. They're trying to exercise that. UMG is putting up a fight. They're not trying to let them get that stuff back. For that, I think a lawsuit is apropos, because if you can't get it no other way, you're going to have to take legal route. If you're asking for it, they say, suck my... and they say, well, we ain't sucking on nothing, but you could suck this lawsuit. That makes sense. If Drake were to come out here and say, UMG stole X amount of money from me, I would say, go get your money. If he said, yo, UMG, they signed paperwork that says I was supposed to get my masters back, in 2024. But now that we done surpassed 2024, they not relinquishing the rights to my music. I would say, hey, you might have, yeah, that makes sense. If y'all sign paperwork that says you're supposed to do this, they not doing it. Awesome. This man suing over a rap battle and hurt feelings. So now we have Salt-N-Pepa, Cheryl James, and she came out and voiced her opinion about her own lawsuit with UMG and reiterated that theirs is different from Drake. Here we go. This is via TMZ.
How are you?
I'm good. How you doing, girl?
I am great. So, a few months ago, TMZ covered the story of you guys filing a lawsuit against UMG. So today we just kind of want to catch up with you and find out, where are you guys with this lawsuit?
Yeah, so, yes. We did all the things, it's been a while actually, and they're just not budging. It's very unusual. So we're just fighting for, our copyrights, because when you're an artist, in the beginning, you sign a contract saying that after 35 years, which has been 40 for us.
Wow.
I know, that's crazy, right? That your masters revert back to you, and they're just not giving them to us. And so we're not only fighting for us, we're fighting for other women, other artists, that are having this problem with the record companies. So y'all keep us in your prayers, and that justice will be served, because this is crazy.
So what happened with the Spotify stuff? Because, even though that's one thing
that's really the bigger thing for us is like, man, y'all pulled our music off of Spotify, off of Apple Music,
and petty.
Fans are like outraged. But there's been an overwhelmingly amazing amount of support for Salt-N-Pepa, because we're America's sweethearts,
Right, even before the Megs and the City Girls, it was you guys.
Yeah. So we appreciate the fans and, their outrage, because it's outrageous.
Great. Last. I know Drake has a lawsuit against UMG too. He felt like they really promoted They Not Like Us, and somehow, some way it made him look bad. Cause,
oh, yeah.
How do you feel about that? You guys are both kind of suing the same label.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I'm old school, and hip hop is like battling, going back and forth, and it's kind of like calling the police, I'm sorry. I love Drake though, but
it's kind of like calling the police.
I can't get with that one.
It's kind of like snitching, a little bit.
I can't go for that. No, can do. I can't go for that. No, can do. Shout out to Cheryl. She said, hey, she liked the music, but what you're doing today, I cannot co-sign. Salute. Okay? And there was no fucking lies detected when it came to the interviewer saying, hey, before all these other ladies that was in the game doing it and like how they doing it today, y'all are the originators, right? When nobody liked Salt-N-Pepa before Salt-N-Pepa. They came in, they brought the raunchy, they brought the sexy, they brought the sassy, they brought the loud, they brought the rambunctious, they brought the iconic cuts and the fucking you know what I mean? They was doing the damn thing. And to know that so many people have, eaten off of that plate and they're not getting their just due, that is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And they said there was a 35-year reversion. Like I said, a reversion period. It's been 40 for them. And UMG is still saying, nah. That I can't stand for. Homeboy? Y'all already know how I feel about that. We're going to move forward, though. Now, y'all remember how strange it was a couple months ago when Joe Cat jumped out the window and he wanted to, start adding an amicus brief to the docket for Drake and UMG and all this stuff, and he wanted to put his input in there, and he felt like he had valuable insight and research and all of this stuff that he felt he could bring to the table for this trial. And they kicked his ass out full-fledged. The judge said, get the fuck out of here. Who the fuck are you? Get the fuck out of here. Huh? You go by the fucking name Joe Cat? You look like an alley cat. Get the fuck out of here. Well, We now have someone else who's entered on behalf of themselves that wants to be a part of the trial, claiming that they have some sort of connection to Drake based on AI searchability. Okay, this is a formal cover letter from Monet Merchant to accompany her declaration submission tying in the legal filing, public indexing, and Drake's federal case. She's entered a cultural declaration of interest, as she's calling it, okay? Now, this is strange because it came from out of nowhere, but it's a lot of people trying to get clout off of this case. They want to put their name in the hat. This woman here, Monet Merchant, I guess she's like an artist, model, and she's also allegedly been creating content that's pro Drake on social media. And for some reason, she's claiming that she's being linked to Drake in some way as a legal professional. Therefore, she may have an interest in this case. I would, we're going to keep her identity away because she's not disclosing. She doesn't want that to be disclosed. You could find her easily, but I'm not going to put her out there, okay? So she says, this declaration is submitted solely for the record to acknowledge public indexing, thought leadership, and cultural authorship in alignment with artists' rights without interfering with court proceedings or representing any legal party. File is a public record, not legal argument. You're documenting, not litigating. Cultural declaration of interest, non-party submission for public indexing record. She's writing to the judge. Dear Honorable Judge, I have respectfully submitted the enclosed declaration of public indexing and cultural interest in reference to the ongoing proceedings in the above captioned matter. My name is Monet Merchant, a public figure, artist, and legal advocate. Legal advocate, that is. She's not a legal professional, but just an advocate. We all can be advocates of whatever the fuck it is we want to be. And this filing is submitted in good faith as a cultural stakeholder, digital archivist, and federally indexed party who has emerged in direct alignment with the themes of the case through public discourse, artificial intelligence results, and intellectual contribution. While I am not a named litigant in this case, my identity has been verifiably and repeatedly linked through AI-generated metadata, as in Google, digital indexing, and public documentation to the legal narrative surrounding the plaintiff, Mr. Aubrey Graham, professionally known as Drake. Affirm my standing in matters of intellectual property and free speech as protected under the First Amendment and 17 U.S.C. 101 Copyright Act. 3. Factual supporting exhibits attached here too as exhibits A through D are examples of digital search results, timestamps, social media posts, visual quote graphics, and third-party AI search output linking my public name and commentary to the parties and issues in this case. These materials confirm that I have become a publicly searchable and referenced contributor to this high-profile multi-billion-dollar legal matter. We don't even know if it's multi-billion dollars on the table. And to become publicly searchable, all you have to do is do anything on the internet and your name will be publicly searchable. But she is overstating her connection here. She says, even without formal contractual or litigious standing, these exhibits show that I am not merely a spectator, but an AI indexed and culturally linked figure whose name now bears direct connection to Drake's legal and creative legacy. 4. Legal basis for submission. Under Rule 24A2 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, non-parties may submit materials to the court when their interests may be practically impaired by the disposition of the case. Moreover, as a matter of equity and constitutional protection, I exercise my right to protect my reputation, prevent unauthorized dilution of my intellectual presence, and request that my role be entered into court record for posterity and review. What is your role? This is not a motion to intervene, but a declaration in the public and creative interest to preserve record of my association and to assert lawful presence in the surrounding narrative. How can you assert lawful presence when you're not a servant of the law or legal process? 5. Request for acknowledgement and archival. Accordingly, I respectfully request the clerk of court receive this declaration into the record of this matter to acknowledge my AI index role in the case's cultural legal meta-narrative. Is this Shannon? Is this Shannon from TikTok? Is this the girl that got the OVO sweats? Now she want to be a part of the case? What's going on here? These Owl fans, man. You ain't nothing but a fan, and now you want to be a part of the legal process. Acknowledge my AI index role in the case's cultural legal meta-narrative. Preserve this declaration for future reference. Deter any misuse of my creative property or distortion of my public name. Allow this document to serve as a standing assertion of my legal position and intellectual ownership. I declare under penalty of perjury under the laws of the United States of America that the foregoing is true and correct. Why did you just end a sentence and now your next sentence is incomplete? And the overarching implications on artists' rights, valuation, and devaluation mechanisms within the music industry. This declaration is submitted solely for the record to acknowledge public indexing, thought leadership, and cultural authorship in alignment with artists' rights without interfering with court proceedings or representing any legal party. I am filing as a public record, not legal argument, formal documenting, not litigating. This filing includes a signed declaration with digital and typed signature, supporting documentation including screenshots of AI indexing, public records, and media materials, affirmation of intent to maintain archival, intellectual, and legal interest in the outcome of this case. I respectfully request that this declaration be entered into the official court record under Rule 24 and or Rule 5.1 as applicable for the purposes of cultural legacy documentation, AI era authorship, and public record preservation. Thank you for your time, consideration, and for upholding the sanctity of open cultural commentary and justice in the digital age. Respectfully, Monet Merchant. Okay? Somebody actually put a notary on this, got their money, and got the fuck on, knowing that this shit wasn't going to do nothing. But this is not the end of it. She then submits a 13-page document. Monet Merchant, Declaration of Interest. She says, I, Monet Merchant, formally submit this Declaration of Interest as a non-party with standing to assert narrative, reputational, and digital identity protection rights regarding sealed filings in this case involving Aubrey Drake Graham. As a globally indexed public figure, the sealing of documents without acknowledgement of adjacent digital entanglements, including likeness, name, collaborations, and brand associations, presents a conflict of public transparency and potential misuse. Requested protections. Formal notification of my identity, likeness, or affiliated content is cited. Sealed redactions or exclusions of indirect brand or IP mentions. Inclusion of this statement in the court record to ensure narrative and legal clarity. So here, she's now trying to give us timestamps of her index being affiliated with Drake. Search results. So date captured, June 3rd, 2025. This exhibit confirms that Monet Merchant has been indexed in search engine results as Drake's legal advocate. Okay? We know she's not, but she's saying that search results come up with her name associated with Drake as a legal advocate. Therefore, she wants to be roped in. The AI-generated response highlights Monet's unique positioning in the music industry as both an artist and a legal voice, noting her preparation of an official legal brief in Drake's federal case against UMG. This recognition solidifies her as the first artist in recorded history, what the fuck, to take such legal action on behalf of another artist. Exhibit D. Legal recognition, Drake's lawyer AI overview. This screenshot confirms that Monet Merchant is being publicly recognized by AI-based search indexing as Drake's legal representative in his federal case against UMG. The summary outlines Monet's involvement in preparing a legal defense brief, allegations of defamation involving Kendrick Lamar and UMG, and her broader advocacy for artists' rights in the music industry. So I might as well put in a motherfucking declaration of public interest for Kendrick Lamar if that's the case. Come on, man. This public recognition reinforces her unprecedented role as the first artist in history to legal file in defense of another artist while simultaneously operating as an artist herself. What is the relevance of this horseshit? It is now a part of the official timeline and legal declaration materials. This shit is going to be struck down with the force of fucking Thor. So here's the screenshot she's referring to. AI overview. Monet Merchant is reportedly Drake's lawyer, which we know she's not, and has been involved in a legal case involving Drake and Universal Music Group. I don't know how she even got her name to come up in this shit, but this is nothing but lies. Here's a breakdown of her reported role. Legal representation. Monet Merchant appears to be representing Drake in a legal matter against UMG. Defamation case. She suggests the legal action involves defamation and that Kendrick Lamar played a role possibly through UMG. Legal brief. Merchant stated she prepared the legal defense brief for the case. What? Artist rights advocate. She portrays her involvement not just for Drake's benefit, but also for other artists facing similar issues of being silenced, sabotaged, or erased. Information about Monet Merchant. She is a hip-hop artist, which I find that to even be false because in searching her, she came up as a pop artist. So that AI is all fucked up. She is the founder of Skinsational Beauty, which can be found on her Instagram, which again, I'm not going to tell y'all. You can go find it. She is associated with Victory Note Records. I even seen something about her releasing music through Rock Nation distribution and doing like an announcement like that was a deal or something. Possible connection. Monet Merchant has recently been vocal about Drake's legal case against UMG, potentially as a legal expert or advocate for artists' rights. Her tweet suggests she has prepared the official legal defense brief in the UMG case against Drake. She views this legal action as significant not just for the same shit. Screenshot away. She's citing Sportskeeda, which is a gossip website. Smear campaigns do not win in the courtroom. Monet Merchant lauds Drake's rebuttal against UMG's statement to dismiss his amended lawsuit. I don't know why they covered you on Sportskeeda, but they need things. So here's another AI response about how she feels towards this UMG Drake lawsuit. Monet Merchant defends Drake. She just a random off the internet. Monet Merchant is not directly mentioned as being part of Drake's immediate circle or label affiliations like Young Money or OVO Sound. She is known for her work as a film producer, including producing the documentary The Carter Effect about Drake's basketball career, according to Air Canada en route. I don't even know if that's the same Monet Merchant that they're talking about here. While not a direct member of his team in the same way as someone like Theo Scudra, who is Drake's visual artist, her work on The Carter Effect connects her to Drake's larger sphere of influence. Well, shit, Lil Wayne might as well put some paperwork in at this point. Come back up your boy. What the hell? Monet Merchant, a legal analyst is crazy, has been vocal in her support of Drake in the UMG lawsuit. Merchant views UMG as the machine and believes Drake's case will strengthen his stance against the publisher rather than Kendrick Lamar as an artist. UMG is attempting to devalue Drake and exert power over him, especially as he renegotiates his contract. I'm guessing that's a quote from her. Merchant has been vocal on social media, particularly on X, formerly Twitter, claiming that UMG is strategically devaluing Drake before his contract renegotiations. She's just regurgitating what he has in his lawsuit. What is the value? Like, are you crazy? Let me not. Merchant believes UMG is using inaction and other tactics to make Drake appear vulnerable to shareholders and partners. Here she makes a post about how she's making history with this legal brief in Drake's dispute. Making history, she says. These are the types of people that we're discussing these matters with on the internet, good people. She's trying to solidify a come up for her online presence by thinking because AI has linked some of her Twitter posts to Drake that she should have some sort of connection to file a legal brief on his behalf and be involved in this case. Sounds like a mental case to me, but that is just my opinion. I do not know the status of this woman's mental health, but I will say you might want to go get checked. Okay? That's all I'm going to say there. You need to go meet up with Joe Cat somewhere, and y'all could come up with your own collaboration, maybe do it, form like Voltron and do that thing. Telling you, man, this fucking Drake shit is just getting more bizarre by the day. Oh my effing goodness. I can only imagine how many more people are going to try to insert their expertise based on nothing in the docket. Fucking embarrassing. Let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider. I will catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be good out there. Much love and respect, y'all. Peace. King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rags. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. When I catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.